And we're back. Welcome to another episode of Successful Marketing, Sales, and Relationships for Small Business Owners and Entrepreneurs. I am your host, Sadon Long. And today we're talking about marketing. That's right, we're talking about marketing. As a lot of you know who follow the show, one of the hats that I wear is marketing expert. And as marketing expert, a lot of times people ask me, hey, how would you fix my marketing? Or what could you do to fix my marketing? Or take a look at my website. And typically what I find out is that what they're calling marketing is really just pictures and promo. So today, what we're going to do, not what we want to do, but what we're going to do is we're going to help small business owners figure out exactly what their marketing is supposed to be doing so then they could be on the path to actually getting it done. So, with that said, without further ado, thank you for tuning in and let's go. All right. So, first thing that marketing is supposed to do is marketing is supposed to put you on a path to financial freedom. I'm going to say it again. Marketing is supposed to put you on a path to financial freedom. So, when people start talking about marketing, what marketing is supposed to do, it's supposed to lead to sales. You know, where I'm from and what I've been taught and what has been successful for me and the people that I've worked with over the last decade or so is making sure that our marketing goes hand in hand with our sales process, making sure that our marketing actually is leading people who need what we're offering to our website, to our opt in page, to our Facebook page, to our event, so that they can then give us some money. And what we're doing with that money is we're actually using that money to buy more money. What do I mean by buy more money? I mean that we're buying money generators. So instead of hiring people who aren't good at sales to sell in our stores, we hire top salespeople. Instead of trying to train the people ourselves, we bring in great trainers. Instead of trying to do the website ourselves, we hire people like Let's Design Our Site to come in and overhaul the website. So now we become like the super friends of business. You know, everybody that we work with is extremely gifted at what they do. But as you and I both know, if there's no money involved, then most people who are really great are going to be somewhere where they can get paid, which is what we recommend you do and what we recommend that people do in general, because the Bible says that the work is worthy of the hire. So if your marketing plan is right, what's supposed to happen is you're supposed to be getting sales. Okay, this is a pyramid. It works just like this. I'm not throwing up the rock and I'm not a delta. What I am saying is that it's a pyramid. And the three pieces of the pyramid are advertising slash promo, marketing, and sales. Okay, the three pieces of the pyramid, this one right here, are advertising, marketing, and sales. Advertising simply means to make known. Okay, so people got to know about you. If nobody knows about you, they don't know how to buy from you. They don't know how to get in touch with you. They don't know how to hire you. So the first thing they have to do is know that you exist. And once they know that you exist, then you can start to market to them. You know, then you could start the whole process of marketing. And what marketing is clearly stating to people who you know have issues and needs that you are able to solve those needs. Let me say it again. It is simply stating in a clear enough way to people who have needs that you're able to solve that you exist. So once I'm able to say it clearly, once I'm able to say, hey, small business owners who are looking to grow your sales, I am able to help you grow your sales. Now I got a message, okay, which is that you can grow your sales if you do business with me, that you can get rid of whatever problem you have if you do business with me. Now I take that and I amplify it. That's where promo and advertising come in. Now I'm amplifying it. I'm putting it on platforms. I'm putting it on billboards. I'm putting it, in grocery stores or wherever it needs to go to get to the people that it's supposed to get to. So the first thing that we have to understand is that this stuff goes together. So I could have a whole bunch of really cool equipment. I could have a really bunch of great pictures, but if within 3 seconds or less, it's not saying to someone, hey, we can help you. Here's your solution. Here's the direction you need to go if you want to get to where you're trying to go to. If it's not saying that within the first 3 seconds, then it doesn't matter how many different platforms I'm on. It doesn't matter how many pictures I take because nobody's going to care. You know, people are very self-absorbed. They only care about what's interesting about them and what's in it for them. Okay, so if there's nothing in it for them, why do they care? Why do I care that you're opening something if it's not going to help me? Why do I care that you have a new fruit drink if I don't drink fruit drinks? So you got to get the thing that you are making in front of the people that can use it and buy it and consume it. And if you get it in front of them, but you're not explaining to them why it is important, then you're going to lose out to people who are explaining it. Again, I'll use Domino's. Domino's doesn't necessarily make the best pizza. But on a Friday night, hey man, it was 30 minutes or less or it was free. So now you weren't necessarily ordering Domino's because they were the best. You were ordering Domino's because you were hungry and you knew that they would be there in 30 minutes or less. Does that make sense? Same thing when you start talking about Little Caesars, fresh, hot, and ready. Okay, you could walk right in and get it and be gone. Wasn't necessarily the best pizza, but it was fast. So if you were a busy mom and you were trying to get home to feed your kids, or you were a dad who really didn't cook and you got your kids on the weekend, hey, Little Caesars it is. I remember when, I was involved with a girl and her kids would come home from being with their dad. Man, he'd send them home with a pizza each. It was $5. Had two of them. He'd give me some. Each one would get one. So they come through the door, with the backpacks and the Little Caesars. Why? Because it was convenient. He had to drop them off. He didn't want to hear, hey, did you feed them? So he's like, yeah, I fed them all right. There you go, right there. Go and get that Little Caesars. Because it was convenient. And as you know, if you follow me and you watch the shows, that we sell convenience because convenience is the capital and currency of choice right now. People want it faster, easier, simpler. And since we live in a faster, easier, simpler world, that's what we're selling because that's what people are buying. Nobody wants to wait a long time to get anything. That's why the Amazons of the world win. That's why McDonald's and their phone app is winning. That's why Uber Eats is winning. Because it's an easier, faster way to get the same thing that you used to get in half the time in most cases, or even less than half the time. So again, your marketing is supposed to put you on a path to financial freedom. Because if I get out here in front of enough people, when I promote or advertise or present, if I get enough of the right people in the room, they'll see that I am the obvious choice, that I am the go-to for them. See, what you want to be is you want to be the go-to. You want to be synonymous with whatever it is that you do. When you get in a room full of hungry people and you're a caterer, you're going to do business. Especially if you can present to them that your way is faster, easier, with less stress. Not only do we make great food, because the assumption is that everybody makes great food, but man, we deliver. So now it's less stress. You don't have to come pick it up. You ain't got to try to chase me around, figure out when I'm going to be home to come get your cake. I drop it off. I drop it off hot. So now you don't have to worry about the reheating and the preheating and all those things because I'm going to drop it off hot. Shout out to Lex Get Cooking. When Lex was doing the Super Bowl tailgates at people's house, she would literally show up, wings, Sammy's, everything. And we started joking. I was like, man, you need to start dropping off ice and Rose's lime and cranberry juice and tonic as well and create a package that does those things. And she was like, well, why would we want to do that? And I was like, because most of those people, they're drinking. And when you're drinking, what do you usually run out of? Ice. When you're drinking, what do you usually need? Chasers, mixers. So if you throw in a free 2 liter of Coke and they're drinking Jack, you're going to keep the party going. And it worked. All these little small things are marketing. You know, now I know that the people I'm in front of have certain needs, and I'm going to make as many of those problems go away as possible. So that's why it's supposed to put you on a path to financial freedom, because you're going to be able to exchange everything that you do for money. And because you do it better, faster, easier, simpler, with less stress than the other person, they're going to want to give you the money. And if they give you the money, then you're going to be able to hire more people. And if you hire more people, then you're going to be able to do more business. And if you do more business, then you're going to be able to have more what? Financial freedom, generational wealth, freedom of time. You got to be able to go where you want, do what you want, with who you want, whenever you want. Just by simply solving other people's problems and then communicating it with marketing to those people who would most likely want to give you money. Okay, so number 2 on the What Marketing is Supposed to Do podcast, marketing is supposed to position you to open up other streams of income. Why? Because if you get good at something, people trust you. And once people start trusting you and you start building a name as somebody who can be trusted, it's a lot easier to get other ideas done. It's a lot easier to get other ideas out there because now you got a name and you can take advantage of what? Your name, image, and likeness. You know, you are the superstar chef. Now all of a sudden you could sell cookware. You the superstar chef. Now all of a sudden you could do events and hostings because now you have a good name. So you can now open up stream adjacent businesses to the business that you already do. You know, for example, if you're known to do great business in the community, now all of a sudden you can open up a non-for-profit, you can open up a school, you can open up a mentoring program to help people do what you do. You know, example, I'll use the Family Life Center. Shout out to Lawan. Because he has a good name, he went from doing pay what you can breakfast and primarily helping homeless people to then helping homeless people and seniors. But because he was doing great work over here, now it opened up opportunities for him to do great work in another lane. Because once you have social proof, you can do anything. Shout out to Dwayne Ransford. If Dwayne's watching, what up? Dwayne starts out in real estate. Okay, so now you got real estate going. Now you develop some business acumen, and people are looking at Dwayne and saying, "Wow, Dwayne's a really smart guy. Dwayne's really doing great stuff." So now, because he's doing great stuff over here, that opens him up to be in politics. That opens him up to open up businesses. That opens him up to open up a shoe store, which I recommend you stop by the way. Right there on Main Street. But again, it opens up other lanes because now you have capital. And you can take that capital and invest it in other businesses. And now you have a name, so people bring business ideas to you. People bring investments to you. One of the reasons that people aren't calling you to give you the play is because they've not quite understood whether or not you're good at what you're already good at. Think about it like this. You look at the movie The Justice League. I think it's The Justice League, yeah. So we look at the Justice League. What was Batman doing? Batman was running around trying to get some other superheroes. He ran out here. He's like, "Hey, man, I need the Aquaman. Do you know where the Aquaman is at?" But if the Aquaman was trash, would he really go get the Aquaman? No, he went and got Aquaman because he knew that if he could align himself with enough other star players, shout out to Cat Williams, by the way, star players, that he could win a championship. You go and you look at LeBron and D Wade. Man, we gonna link together, take our talent to South Beach. Oh, and let's go get Chris Bosh too. People don't want you to be part of the Super Friends if you're not winning. But once you start winning, people want you to be part of their team. People want you to be part of their investment group. That's why Magic Johnson owns part of the Dodgers and part of the Washington Commanders. Because once you start winning, people want you to be associated with their winning. And I know I'm talking about big stuff, high level stuff, but you can even look at it locally. When you start seeing, things like The Firm. Shout out to my girl Tanisha, shout out to Jamia, you know, Woman of Steel, how they linked up with Monica. So now you look at Dialogue and you got three women who all have followings and personalities and talents and gifts linking up with other women to make this as a spot that they can all benefit from. Hosting events, building up their brands, building up their names, politicking, networking, doing all of the above because they were good at something else. If those inspired soul events weren't popping, nobody would know who she was. If Dialogue wasn't a great space and it wasn't a good vibe, people wouldn't know who she was, wouldn't know who Monica was. Let me make sure I say her name. Same thing with Tanisha. If she wasn't doing great work already, people wouldn't want to link up. And there are some other wonderful people from Inspired Soul and from The Firm that I'm not naming, so don't think I forgot y'all, but I'm just, giving you your flowers. But the point is it opens up other streams of income. Because now people want to link up with you, people want to partner with you, people bring you to play. Shout out to Viola. I would have never gotten any information about Viola if the person that gave me the information wasn't winning. Because Viola would have never reached out to her, which in turn would have never gave me the trickle down to know anything about it, which then trickled down to some other people, and people were able to become involved. But if you don't know, a lot of this stuff is happening over your head and behind your back. Stuff that you could benefit from. You're like, man, it's a click. Well, is it really a click? Or is it just that people do business with people they trust? People do business with people who they consider to be bankable, credible. You know, the bank's not a click. The bank's like how we get our money back if we invest in this business that you want us to invest in. So now if they have to choose between you and say Dwayne Rancifer, Dwayne's got a proven track record. So yeah, we'll offer Dwayne some money because we know Dwayne's going to get our money back plus interest. So now he keeps getting more and more opportunities because he's doing something with the opportunity. So your marketing is supposed to do that. It's going to get you in the room because now you have the financial freedom. And then because you're in the rooms, then you're going to get an opportunity to make more money because not only will you have the capital to invest, but you'll also then have a good name that people want to be associated with. I was blessed the other day. Shout out to Lamisa Marshall. She hit me up. She's like, hey, man, we're having an event and we want you to be a part of it. But I'm part of it because I've built a track record of doing great work. Why would you let somebody be a part of something that you got to put your name on if you couldn't trust them to deliver? So marketing is going to help you get those streams of income. It's going to help people start seeing you in a different light. Which brings me to what the third thing that marketing is supposed to do is. Your marketing is supposed to position you as an expert. And once it positions you as an expert, again, gonna open up more streams of income. Because now, as an expert, people want to hear what you think. People want to hear how you made it. People want to hear your story. People want to read your biography. Because you've done something extraordinary. And because you've done something extraordinary, people want to know about it. People want to read your book. Speaking of books, shout out to The Big Picture. Number one book for people who don't come from money, who are out here trying to get money. Still available on Amazon. This book Dwayne and I wrote. It tells the story of how Dwayne came to be who he is. Again, number one book for people who do not come from money, who are trying to get money. Might be a great read. Matter of fact, not might be, is a great read for you in 2024. One of the richest black men in the country. If he's telling you for $20 how you can get on and get going, you should do it. Never be a better investment than that one. So again, but if you don't win, nobody cares. And because nobody cares, nobody buys. Again, why do these people like 50 Cent have books? Why do they have movies? Because they wanted something else already. And once you start saying, oh, 50 Cent's a great businessman, which is the marketing, now it allowed him to go into a different lane. Now it allows him to write books. Now it allows people to want to interview him. Now it allows people to want to make him part of something else. No different than a Damon John or a Mark Cuban. You know, these guys get to the Shark Tank not because they started out in business. One was a tech guy and the other one was a fashion designer. But once you start winning, people start seeing you as a business owner. People start seeing you as a boss. People start seeing you in a different light and they want to hear your story. They want to know your biography. They want to know how you made it. And if you're not winning and people don't know you're winning and you don't have proof that what you think do works, it's going to be really hard to get people to buy into you, to get people to get behind you, to get people to join your mission, to get people to do the things that you need them to do so that you can get to financial freedom, so that you can take care of your family, so that you can help your parents, so that you can make sure that your kids and grandkids are covered. You know, inflation went up, so they had to cut jobs. Maybe some of your kids were caught up in that. But because you have a business, now you're able to hire your kids. You know, one of the greatest, beautiful, most wonderful stories I ever tell, and I talk about it briefly way back in God Wants You to Dominate, best-selling, international bestseller by me, by the way, is I talk about Parker Elliott. Parker Elliott is the son of Corey Elliott. And at the time, he was a younger kid. I can't remember exactly how old he was when I was writing, but he would literally be in the car and she would be doing business. She would be on business calls. So he'd be in the car, she'd be taking him to school, and he'd be soaking it up. He'd be sitting around with Mr. Zefford and Mrs. Zefford, his grandparents. Love Bobby Z, by the way. Another business owner, listening to Bobby talk about business, and how business works and how you need to see it and how you need to do it. So you're talking about an 8, 9, 10, 12-year-old kid. He get to sit around with the great Verbiage Jones, listen how another CEO, political strategist, business owner, tastemaker, influential black man thought and did business. So because he got a chance to sit around these people, he's soaking up game. And now, he's down in Morehouse. And man, he's one of he's one of the people I consider probably going to take over the world. All because he was around great business owners. All because he was able to soak up game. All because he was able to work in CMT and learn and build his own businesses because he was around people who were teaching him the game at an early age, which leads me into number 4. It gives you this opportunity to build a legacy. It gives you an opportunity to put yourself and your family in a position that will last for years and years and years and years. Because now your kids get to know from you how it really works. They get to know from you how business works and not just how it feels to be an employee. So now if you have a successful business, if you have a successful marketing strategy, if you have a successful marketing and sales strategy, now you're able to share that with your kids and say, here's why we're winning. Here's how we're going to win next quarter. Here's how we're going to pay for that vacation. Here's how we're going to get you that car. Here's how we're going to get you that tuition. This is what we're doing. This is why we're doing it. This is why it's important. Here's why we need to hire great people. Here's why we need to fire. Because a lot of times when you've only been around workers, you see everything like a worker. If you have a conversation, with someone and, for example, let's use Taraji P. Henson as an example. Now, I'm not for or against or bashing or praising. I'm just simply using this as an example from people at home. Okay. So Taraji talked about the money she made. Okay. Is she underpaid? Depending on what side of the coin you're on. Now, if you're on the side of the coin of the actor, of the writer, you're like, yeah, they probably could have given Taraji more money. Now, if you're on the side of the business, you're saying, hey, we negotiated with her and she signed off. Okay. She didn't turn it down. She didn't say, no, I need more money. She said whatever the final number that we came up with was acceptable to her, and she signed off on it. Okay. So now if you're at home and you're a business owner, you're going, okay, that person that works for me probably does want a raise. That person that works for me probably does think that they don't make enough money. That person that wants me to hire them probably thinks that they should get this, which is probably more than I could afford, which is probably more than I want to pay. But as a business owner, I know I have a responsibility to me, my family, my investors, and the rest of my team to not hire bad people, to not hire unproductive people, to not overpay for people who do not give us considerable return on investment. We go back and we look at New Jack City, in the Ice-T and Wesley Snipes moment. It's like, man, it wasn't personal, right? No, man, it was just business. Yeah, yeah, right. It wasn't personal. So again, when you're in the room with business owners and you're talking marketing, you're talking sales, now all of a sudden, instead of you being someone who's always buying, you become somebody who understands why people buy. And instead of being sold, you do the selling. You know, Now how that works for your family is even if they don't open a business, they now know how to negotiate better because they understand marketing. You know, had a phone call this morning with a very close friend of mine who's running through a battery of interviews today. Hope, something pops for her because, she does a great job at what she does. And she was talking about what number they were going to offer her. And hopefully that number would come in at a number that she wanted. And I was like, well, what you got to do is you got to get yourself in a position where they say they can't live without you. That's right. Got to put yourself in a position where they can't live without you, which means that you have to demonstrate how you are the obvious choice. And when you become the obvious choice, they got to give you what you want. Because what makes you the obvious choice is that, hey, I can do it faster, easier, simpler, with less stress. Because the person who's hiring you the majority of the time, they're under stress. So they got to hire somebody because the next person they hire is trash. They're probably going to get fired. So what are they looking for? They're looking for somebody that basically can do the job without them having to help them. Somebody that doesn't need a babysitter, somebody that can get in and solve all these problems that we're having in this particular division. Because if we had no problems, then we'd still be working with the same person we had before. So again, if you prove that you are the obvious choice, that you are the best choice, that you are the go-to, now you're able to negotiate better. And I'm saying that because our kids go out here each and every day and they fill out all these applications and they give away all their power. And when they give away all their power, then they don't get what they're supposed to get, which is the money that is directly adjacent to their abilities. Now, again, we watched mama, we watched grandmama, we watched them work for years and never get the money that they were due. Holding down these law firms, holding down these insurance companies, holding down these businesses, being the reason that they are open. If they ain't have Miss Carol in payroll, they probably be closed now. If they didn't have, Miss So and So or Auntie Jane or whoever on that team, they would have about closed. Shout out to all my corporate queens, that keep these businesses purring, keep these businesses open, keep these businesses running, keep these other folks making millions of dollars. But when you understand that you are the reason that all of this stuff is happening, now you're able to then negotiate better because you understand the value that you present to your market. You know, your target market in this particular case is your boss. Your target market in this particular case is the people who hire you. Your target market in this particular case may only be one person, but it's still the same process. What is the problem that they have and how do I solve it? Okay, now that I know I can solve it, how do I solve it better, easier, faster, simpler? Okay, and if they offer me a number that I don't like, now I could say, well, I can't really see how I could give you all that for that number. So now you come home with a raise. How do I know that works? Because I've been doing that for my friends for years. Had a friend that I ran into in the grocery store one time. She was telling me about how she worked for these two doctors and how it was really taken away from her fun and freedom. And it wasn't really enough money. And I was like, well, you go in there, you tell the doctors that you can't continue to do this for the money that you're doing it for because you got other responsibilities that you need to take care of. So the only way you could keep doing this for them is if you get more money so that you can then now offset some of those responsibilities by paying someone else. You know, because if you're going to keep me here to 6 and you pay me this, I'm going to spend all of that on daycare. So rather than stay here to 6, take the money that I made and then have to give it to daycare, I might as well just go home at 5. 15-minute conversation where we walk from produce to meats. 2 days later, $500 check. Not to me, to her. So 15-minute conversation about simply understanding your market and their needs and how to serve those needs and then take it away, create scarcity, turned into $500 check just because you ran into your homie in the grocery store. Again, and once you start understanding, because we talk about your worth all the time, your worth is just simply how do you get it? First, I understand what I'm worth, what I'm capable to do, problems I'm capable of solving, things I'm capable of creating a solution to. That's understanding my worth. I am very valuable because I can do those things. You are very valuable because you can do those things. You know, because you can make things easier, better, simpler, faster for somebody in a way that nobody else can. You know, you have a unique gift. And because you have a unique gift, the Bible says, man, that you should be able to charge for it and that you should get what you want. The work should be worthy of the hire. You know, so again, marketing is the key to all of this. You know, it's not just pictures, it's not just websites. Those are tools. You know, those are just tools. You know, but the marketing itself is supposed to put you on a path to financial freedom. The marketing itself is supposed to open up additional streams of income. The marketing itself is supposed to make you more valuable as a human being. You know, meaning that now your own personal brand should then start yielding financial benefit as well. The marketing is supposed to put you in a position to teach your kids strategically how to live in this world and always get what they are worth. Okay, so those are the 4 things. I've gotten 4, but I promised you 5. So number 5 on what marketing is supposed to do, man, it's supposed to make it easier. You know, it's supposed to make it so that you don't always have to pick up a phone and beg people to buy from you. You know, it's supposed to make it easier. Easier. If I know that these are the people who can help me, now I only go to those people. You know, I know that if I have a unique gift and a unique ability that people have been paying money for and getting a great result from buying, now I can go to banks and it'll make it easier for me to get money. I can go to angel investors. It'll make it easier for me to get money. You know, I can now recruit better people because they know that my plan works. They know that my system works. They know that there's social proof. So it'll make it easier for me to get this super friends thing going with other people. You know, it'll remove so many barriers. You know, one of the things that I always hear when I'm sitting with business owners is, man, I got to figure out a way. I got to figure out a way. I got to figure out a way to get more customers. I got to figure out a way to raise my price. I got to figure out a way. Well, if your marketing is right, the way is already figured out. Because now people know within 3 seconds that you're the person that they need to do business with. People know within 3 seconds the benefit of doing business with you. People know within 3 seconds how to do business with you. It is that simple. You know, everything is easier, simpler, less stressful when the marketing's right. You know, again, I'll go back and I'll talk about some of my clients. You know, I had a client who got sick. You know, went to the doctor. Doctor's like, man, you need to slow down. You need to take some time off. But because we had email marketing working on our side, because we had pricing strategy working on our side, because we built up a customer list, all marketing tools, all marketing strategies connected to it, even when he wasn't doing videos, even when he wasn't teaching classes, even when he wasn't able to do anything, we were still making money. You know, he was asleep, still making money. He was sick, still making money. He was on vacation, still making money. So now, when you have those things in place, it's easier. It is significantly easier because now we're attracting people who want to give us money. And if you have your system in place, like I do, the 7 gets, not only do we attract great customers who want to give us money, the system that I use allows us to keep those customers, then get those customers to buy again because we have a system in place where we create programs that piggyback the programs that we sell in the beginning. And we then take the great customers or great students or great whatever, and we elevate and we celebrate them so that then they bring us more customers. So now the customer's worth more, the sale is worth more, and it's a whole lot easier to be on the path to financial freedom. Plus, it doesn't even take as much work because now your one customer is worth somebody else's 10 customers. And it's a lot easier to get one than it is to get 10. So if I get 100 customers and they all give me $500, now I got $500,000. You could get 500 customers and still not have $500,000. Now, what's easier? 25 people a quarter giving me $500 or trying to get 100 people, 125 people a quarter? Help me understand. Make it make sense. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. So with that being said, it's supposed to make it easier. Now there are some other little nuggets that we dropped in there, about how you're able to link up with the super friends, how you're able to be more attractive and people will want to give you money to come out and speak and you could write books and do podcasts and how it'll make you a better parent. So again, that's what marketing is supposed to do. Now I'm saying all this so when you sit down with your marketing guy tomorrow or today or next week or whenever you sit down with your marketing person this year, that you start asking them, so how are you gonna get these 5 things done for me? How is what you're doing going to help me do the things that Sadan talked about? How's it gonna help get me on that path to financial freedom? How's it gonna lead to me having these additional streams of income? How's it gonna put me in a position to build my own personal brand? What are you teaching me that I could then pass down to my kids? And how are you going to do it in a way that's not stressful and confusing that I'm going to get all burnt out and fed up with and not be able to execute? Or are you just going to post stuff on social media for me? Which is cool because, you probably do need somebody to manage your social media accounts to make sure that your videos go out and make sure that your posts go out. You do. I'm not saying that you don't. But what I am saying is you need the right person for every job. And if you think the right person to put together all of this other stuff is the person who does the website, then you may be leaving a lot of money on the table. But again, that's how you measure it. You measure it with that. Now, this is coming from somebody who's generated millions of dollars for small business owners. This is coming from somebody who's won in every arena he's ever been in. And I don't say that to brag. I just simply say that I've done this enough times to say that this is the way that works. Now, are there other ways that work? Maybe there are. But I know that this way works for sure. So, with that being said, this has been another episode of Successful Marketing, Sales, and Relationships for Adult Small Business Owners and Entrepreneurs. And if you'd like to take advantage of my unique gift, which is being able to turn ideas into income, feel free to leave your comments below and or DM me. But what I'd really appreciate it if you did is that if you went over to grownorich.com, I would be most grateful for that, and click the Make Money Fast button. Now, what's going to happen when you do that? They're going to send me an email. Okay. And when they send me that email, I'm going to then send you an email, and we're going to set up a time, and we're going to talk about you and your business and your goals and your marketing and how you can make money and put yourself on a path to financial freedom. And anything that you get from that call that you can then use to make money for yourself, which is not uncommon, you get to do. And it's all on me. What do I mean? I mean that it's a free call. So, again, if you would like to take advantage of my unique gift and my years of experience and my track record of doing a great job, go on over to growingrich.com. So, with that being said, it's your business big bro, Sadon Long, with another episode. It has been an honor, as always, to sit before you. It has been an honor to be a part of your life and come into your homes and on your phones. So, I appreciate that, and I do not take it lightly. I love you. God bless you. Have a great day, and I'm out. This has been another episode of